All right, so let me share this real quick and we will get this going. Always a process. Okay, thank you all for your patience. I'm hoping that you can see the Ohio family to family and Ohio parent to parent slide right now. I'll introduce myself real quick. I am Jenna Wells. I am a coordinator for the Ohio Parent to Parent program and the Ohio Family to Family program. I am a family support specialist in the family to family program specifically, and both programs are statewide. So we work with folks and families all over the state for both programs, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit about that in a second. But I've been at the USAID working within these two programs for the past 4 years now. And before that, I have worked in the disability community since my son was born 15 years ago. And then before that, I actually have a degree in family community services as well. So it all kind of worked together for me. And I'm very thankful for being on this journey with all my fellow family members. So all of you. Um, Tonight we're going to talk about vocational rehabilitation, what happens at 14 years old. So I'm so excited that Shaniqua Matthews is here. And she's going to talk a little bit about herself as soon as I just tell you a quick overview of what the USAID does. The USAID stands for the University of Cincinnati Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities. Our organization is housed at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, but we do serve, like I said, the whole state. So we have multiple programs across the state and support families in basically ensuring that their loved one with a disability lives the life that they want to live. And that is the be all and end all of everything we do. So we advocate, we educate, we do a lot of research, we speak to legislators, we have policy. Updates. We try and keep the community updated in all the changes that are going on. We provide family support in lots of different ways. And we also are just here to teach the society and teach providers as well about the needs of individuals with disabilities and special health care needs. So lots and lots and lots of things happening, and we appreciate you being here and taking part in this. So just as a quick overview of what the two programs are that I had spoken about previously, the Ohio Family to Family program and the Ohio Parent to Parent program work very closely together. Um, they're both free, they're both one-on-one support, they're both statewide, and neither one of them, there's no like eligibility requirements as many of our organizations have. So it's a great way for families to get connected to one another. And both programs are just where we are helping families be empowered to find the resources, to navigate challenges, to find solutions for what they're going through, what their situation is, and also just making sure that it's all individualized. So the family to family, the difference is the family to family is where we as professionals, but also as parents and family members ourselves. So everyone that works in these programs is also a family member. So we will work one-on-one with anybody that is navigating the system. Obviously, there's lots of different systems that we are navigating, and we will help support any of them. So that's educational system, the medical systems, the state systems, the financial systems, whatever that might be, we can certainly help navigate through those. And making sure that you are aware, or whoever is needing that support are aware of the options that they may have for their particular situation and their particular family. So, and then the parent to parent program is where we train peer mentors to be that person, that listening ear, that person that they can really connect with, that understands what they're going through. Because in parent to parent, we connect family members together that have a similar experience. So depending on what the mentee is looking for, we can connect them with a mentor that has been, or that fits kind of what that mentee is looking for. So that can be related to a diagnosis, that can be related to a specific surgery, that can be related to maybe situational, like an IEP, or maybe specifically Medicaid, those sorts of things. We can get families connected based on what that individual need is. So those are the two programs that I work for and that I'm super, super proud of because as a family member myself, I remember, the first days of my son's life and just feeling so alone. And so we really want to help make sure that no family member feels alone in their journey. And so that is, that's the overall goal of our programs. So, okay. So I'm going to stop sharing here. And Shaniqua, you're welcome to share your screen. And just so everyone is aware, tonight, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to add them to the chat. We'll be kind of following through the chat and making sure that we answer all of them. At the end of the session, we'll be going through and answering them. We can even you're welcome to raise your hand towards the end of the session too. We're gonna kind of open it up within the last 20 minutes to make sure that we get all of our questions answered. So be but if you forget like me, like I tend to think of a question and then I forget. So if you think of a question and you want to put it in the chat, please do. You're welcome to do that because then we can remember that question for later, even if it's at the end. So. All right. So I just want to introduce Shaniqua Matthews. Thank you so much for being here, Shaniqua. She's from Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities. We're going to be talking about vocational rehabilitation, what happens at 14 years old. And Shaniqua can tell you a little bit more about her own personal story. So thanks so much for being here.
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me to join this meeting. So again, my name is Shaniqua Matthews, and I am a vocational rehabilitation supervisor for Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities. And as Gina said, we're going to have questions once we are completed with the presentation at the end, and you'll be able to ask any questions that you have then. So I started working with Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities July of 2018. I started as a counselor, a vocational rehabilitation counselor. And then in October of 2021, I became a supervisor with Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities. Prior to that, I worked in a halfway house for all males and also a CBCF. So if you guys can just let me know, you guys should see a screen that says Opportunities for Highlands with Disabilities, and you should see three pictures on there. Is that correct? Good, perfect. Thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next slide. if it works. There we go. So, a little bit about vocational rehabilitation. Each state has a VR program, and the program serves all types of disabilities, such as physical, hearing, vision, learning, mental health, and sensory disabilities. The goal of VR programs are to help individuals with disabilities prepare for, obtain, maintain employment, prepare students with disabilities for work after graduation, and while they are still in high school, if they would like to find employment that is non-permanent, and also to support them attending college if that's their goals, work towards completing degrees, and just overall trying to help them plan out their career. Our vocational rehabilitation services are custom for each individual through assessments and one-on-one meetings with professional VR counselors. So, in addition to our funding for VR, the rules and laws and guidelines come from the federal and state government. So, within this slide, you'll see that it says state and federal funded through the Work Innovation and Opportunity Act, which is known as WIOA. And then every state has a VR program that follows federal laws and rules. And then again, the goal is to help individuals with disabilities to prepare for, obtain, and maintain employment. And then VRs for individuals with disabilities, even including students. So in Ohio, OOD has various VR partnerships. And the OOD partners with the Department of Education, our multiple drug courts, mental health agencies, Department of Higher Educations, and those are just some different partners that we have, just to name a few. So, what happens at age 14? That's what we're here to discuss, right? So, Opportunities for Hires with Disabilities offer services for students age 14 and older. Typically, what you hear is sometimes that we offer those services for those that you have to be in high school or you have to start your sophomore or junior year. So that's not true at all. We offer services for those age 14. So you may have a youth or a student that is still in middle school trying to explore different options, and maybe he or she is just not ready to transition over to high school just yet. However, as long as they are 14 years of age, they are able to apply for OOD services. So again, we offer services to those students age 14 and older with a range of disabilities, including physical, learning, mental health, sensory, hearing, and vision disabilities. We personalize our services to meet each individual's unique needs, helping students explore different job options, gain work experience through paid opportunities, engage in job shadowing, plan for post high school goals, manage benefits for greater independence, and find employment that aligns with their preferences. So, OOD can help students with disabilities get an early start. And some of those ways would be to explore jobs in a variety of workplace settings, getting paid work experiences with job coaches, connecting to ongoing supports, learning about self advocacy, and developing soft skills needed for work and independence. So, what are the service?
This is Gina Manning calling for my son Matthew Manning. He has his
Oh, sorry. Okay. So what are those services and supports that we offer? Some of those services and supports that we offer for our transition students are pre-employment transition services, skilled development activities, summer youth work experience, non-permanent job search assistance, finding internships and permanent employment, navigating Ohio Means Jobs resources, and connecting to OOD's expansive employer partner networks. So let's start with the first one, pre-employment transition service. Within that area, we discuss the following with the students: job exploration counseling, work-based learning experience, post-secondary opportunity counseling, workplace readiness training, and instruction in self-advocacy. So with the pre-ex job exploration counseling, that will introduce students to the world of work. The main activities include discussing career options, learning about in-demand jobs, and taking interest assessments to find potential career paths. For the work-based learning experience, help students understand different work settings. This would include learning about job duties, who works there, shifts, job expectations, productivity, accommodations, pay, and the unwritten work rules. Students can engage in worksite tours, job shadows, informational interviews, and field trips. With the post-secondary opportunity counseling, we help students learn about degrees and recognize credentials like certifications and license from training programs, community colleges, and universities. With our readiness training, we focus on developing professional skills such as teamwork, networking, safety, and business customer service. It also emphasizes personal skills, including work ethic, responsibility, and time management. For the instruction in self advocacy, we focus on teaching students the important information about their rights and their responsibilities, and it covers asking for accommodations at work, learning about available services, and practicing self advocacy skills. With the skill development, other basic skill development activities are designed to help students understand employment and identify their career interests. And some of these activities may include using the Students Learning Kit at ohiomeans.com, use the Employment First job seeking guide at ohioemploymentfirst.org, interviewing or job shadowing family or friends, volunteering, extracurricular activities, and exploring activities available through school, job training, and or shadowing. So when we talk about summer youth, we look at the summer youth work experience and our non-permanent job search assistance. So I'm going to play a quick video that will talk about the little bit of things that we do when it comes to summer youth. And let me know if you guys can hear that and see it.
Students with disabilities receive a valuable first opportunity to step into the workforce through OOD's Summer Youth Work Experience. Opportunities for Ohioans with Disabilities empowers students with disabilities aged 14 through 21 to gain on-the-job skills, independence, and confidence through paid, supervised work experiences.
My name is Catherine Davis. I'm the manager of special education experiences and strategies at COSI, the Center of Science and Industry. Whether it's working with our data entry, helping with our research team, or supporting the building with the thousands of people that come through our doors every day, they're doing very important work.
My name is Chris or Christopher. I am a participant of the summer youth program. I'm part of the safety security team. I usually just check all the doors around COSI to make sure the doors that's supposed to be locked are locked. I feel like this job helped me a lot with my social skills and talking to random people.
Diana Reed helps me learn new skills, and it'll help me later in the future to pick a job that I'm interested in.
My name is Oscar. I love this program so much. It makes me feel proud.
By the end, the students learn the essential skills needed to be successful in employment and are more clear in their career interests.
Heather Witt, and my title is Director of Employment Services. They're some of the hardest workers that we have here. Without them, we couldn't function because of how much and how willing they're willing to go beyond
My name is Lydia McGrath. My favorite part of the job is taking care of the dogs, helping them out, feeding them like little treats.
Andy Goheen, employment support professional for ARC Industries. A big thing that they've worked on is just maintaining a positive attitude, kind of adaptability if there are new tasks that they weren't expecting.
It's fun for them, right? Like they're really happy to be here with us and it keeps us in a good place.
Alex, I think I like dogs because they like keep me calm.
I'm Katie Workman. My favorite part about this job is like, I think hanging out with the dogs. Because some of them are like really soft.
I'm Nick. I go to Hudson. It's definitely a learning opportunity. It's not the first time I've done this, but it's definitely shows me more of perspective of what the real world is.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I do the dishwashing here. Working means happiness to me. This job gives me independence.
OOD's Summer Youth Work Experience empowers students with disabilities, one summer, one job site, one future at a time.
Opportunities for Ohioans with disabilities.
All right. So as you've seen in the videos, those are just some different, can you guys still hear me? Sorry. Okay, perfect. So as you see in the video, that those are just some different types of summer youth opportunities that our students get to experience. Each provider that we work with, they come up with a list of partnerships and they are able to take our individuals into those different areas to gain that work experience. And the good thing about it is that our transition students, they get paid to do it. Sometimes it is a 5-week program, and we have different levels. We have level ones and level twos, and it's just what's going to be best for that individual. So moving to the non-permanent job search assistance. So that's designed for students who have basic work skills but require additional training before getting a permanent job. With this service, we help these high schoolers find a seasonal or after school job that gives them valuable paid work experience and begins building their work history. Some of the other services that we offer are our college and post secondary education assistance. So, with our um, college and post secondary education assistance, we assist individuals with planning for college and or other trainings after high school, including helping explore majors, completing applications, linking students to support on campuses, and in many cases, tuition assistance. OD can also help students find internships and apprenticeships that support their career goals. We can also provide assistive technology, accessibility, transportation, and other supportive services if needed. And these would be necessary assistive technology devices and corresponding trainings, transportation assistance, work clothing, supportive services, anything that's going to help the student or the individual that we work with overcome some of their barriers that they're dealing with. Learn how to maximize their earnings. So, students who receive public benefits can work with a work incentive consultant to discuss their Social Security, Medicaid, and or other benefits to ensure they understand how to maximize their income and use work incentives available to them. With finding and keeping a job, once a student is ready to look for a permanent position, we will provide support during their job search, including finding job leads, completing online applications, interviewing preparations, networking, and we could provide a job coach if necessary, which would help the individual learn more about their jobs, how to complete the tasks that they've been instructed to do, and also help address any issues that may arise while on the job. And then driver's training. provide many options to achieve their driving goals and needs, such as behind the wheel training, tutoring for permit testing. If there's anyone that may need to take abbreviated classes, teen driving programs, and we also help adults who may never have had their driver's license. We can also assist them too. So, how do I apply? To apply online, you can enter our secure application portal. It is known as oodworks.com, and you will be asked to sign in with your existing account or sign up now. If you don't have an account, or sign up now if you don't have an account, and both are quick and painless. If you choose to apply by phone, if you're more comfortable talking with someone, you can also call one of our local offices to start the application process over the phone. You will be able to utilize our map or list to find which OOD locations is closer to you, along with the phone number to call for assistance with applications. So again, we work with people that do have disabilities, and we take into consideration what's going to be able to make those individuals eligible for services. And you must have a disability. And when students, when we are working towards making the individual eligible for services, we can use IEPs, ETRs, we can use any medical diagnosis from the doctor. So it's always best just to apply with us, and then we can instruct you how to move forward with the eligibility process. So again, this first step in accessing services is to apply. Individuals can apply for services in a variety of ways, as I stated. Applications can be completed in person. The application can be completed by anyone. It can be completed by yourself, parents, legal guardian, schools, the county boards of DD or mental health providers, county children's services, disability and accessibility or career services staff at colleges, or any other community agency. And then this right here is just some of my contact information. Again, my name is Shaniqua Matthews. I am a vocational rehabilitation supervisor. I have included my email address and my phone number if you were to have any questions. And then thank you again for allowing me to come and provide you with a small tidbit of information on what happens at the age of 14 and just some of the things that we as OOD what we offer for students and our adults. Right. So I can take any
Thank
question.
you. Thanks, Shaniqua. Yeah, if anyone, we have some great questions in the chat over here, so we can go through some of those. And then once we're done with some of the chat, then maybe we'll just open it up for an open conversation since there's not too many people in this session. So we can probably just have you raise your hand. But Ania asks, are there any opportunities like search for kids that are on IEPs but homeschooling? If yes, is there an age limit?
When you say search, we use a lot of different acronyms with our agency. So are you saying like project search?
Yes,
Okay,
project search.
perfect.
Hello,
I
yes.
just hello. Yes. Okay. So no. So yes, there are opportunities like project search. Yes, anyone if they are being homeschooled, that is something that they could partake in. And no, there is not an age limit for that. Typically, when we have our individuals that's interested in project search, the counselor and the team. So when we say team, we look at the school, whoever the teachers may be. If they're being homeschooled, then they're going to be the parents or the legal guardians. And we meet all together and we have a discussion on what's going to be best for that individual based on our counseling and guidance. So Project Search may be something that may be available for the individual, and they would have to do like an interview for it to see if they would get selected, which is very is very fun. It's a fun process to watch. And it's really neat to be able to see the individuals when they do get accepted and to watch them grow throughout the time and the months that they're in this program. And I would say that I've observed, I went to two of the interviewings that they had, and we were able to select which participants would be great for the program. And just to watch those individuals grow from the first time we seen them and just some of their barriers that they had to when they're getting ready to end and graduate was just wonderful. It was you would have never thought some of those individuals like, oh, I don't know if they're going to make it. We'll see and see what happens. But at the end result is was great.
I think sometimes these kids of ours are surprising us. Remove them from the power parents and they just develop these wings. It seems like sometimes they kind of hold on to us and we hold on to them for different reasons, right? And don't, oh my goodness, they surprise us. I think my daughter is at the stage of we really need to let her go and do things. But she's 20. And recently I contacted, honestly, I didn't know about Project Search until recently. And I contacted UC, but I didn't get, Cincinnati Children's, but I didn't get a response. I got the response from Xavier, and they redirected me back basically to our local school district and said that she needs to get enrolled back into the school to be able to participate in the program. Now, that's the information that I got. So I'm kind of like never take like the first answer as being the final answer. So I was wondering if I will get more information from you. I'm absolutely excited to hear that you have this support for parents and you can work with and consult parents individually and the family and just to see these kids. And I would be very much, I would very much like to connect and just possibly ask for your guidance in the process of getting my daughter outside of her homeschooling school system and into the world. So I was wondering if I could get again your contact info, so we can, I don't know if that would be with Jana or with you, but if I can connect outside later, I would love that.
Yes, I believe Gina, you're going to be sending the PowerPoint out to everyone.
I am. So I'll and I can send just Shaniqua's information and email address to for you to contact her as well. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no worries. No
And what I would like to
worries.
say, so in every area, the project searches are maybe a little different. So in our area, which is in Lorain County, what they do is that even if the individual has been homeschooled, they still have to be connected with the district school at some point somehow. And we can all sit down and have that conversation on what would it look like if that individual were to partake in Project Search. But definitely we can touch base later on. If you want to give me a call next week, we can definitely do that so we can get the
Awesome.
ball rolling. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Okay. The next question is from me, actually. What are the different levels and how is it determined what level a student is in? You were talking about levels earlier. And so I just was curious if you could explain a little bit more about the levels.
Yes. So with summer youth, we have level one and level two. And what we found out over the years is that not every person or every student can operate at the same level when it comes to working. And that's how it is as, we as adults. You have some people that can work those 80 hours and some people that can only do 40, you have some that can only do 20, and it may be disability related. So we were able to factor into that. So with the level one, you may only work 15 to 20 hours. Whereas the level two, you're going to work 25 to 35 hours. So those would just be the differences with that. You would still have the opportunity to still work at the same locations as the person is a level two, but maybe instead of working 6 hours that day, maybe you get to work 3 hours that day and then you can go home.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Now I get it. All right. Thank you for explaining that. Um, Krista asks, can young people who need extra help with mobility, personal, and medical needs take a partner to a summer youth work experience?
So when you say a partner, would you say like a personal care assistant, a nurse? Krista, there you go.
Krista, if you're able to either write in the chat or unmute, you're welcome to just talk too. Any. She says
Oh, yeah.
nursing, interpreter
Sorry, there
care.
it is. I put it in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So overall, I believe that that would just really depend on the site that they choose. We've had some individuals that wanted to do summer youth and they had mobility diagnosis or disability or some limitations. And it would, like I said, it would really depend on what summer youth site they were able to choose because if, if it's going to be a place where there's no HIPAA violations, then of course, we may be able to have someone in there. But if there's going to be a place where it's HIPAA violations, that may take, extra precaution, a little extra time to get the individual, maybe a background check has to get done before they can enter. Maybe just additional information needs to be gathered, but it really depends on the site.
Okay, wonderful. Let us know if you have any follow-up, Krista, if you have any follow-up questions on that. But um, Bibash, is that how we pronounce it? I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. But how does OOD support in post-secondary education?
So with post-secondary education, the individual can have conversations with the counselor. And if they're like, I want to obtain a degree in being a nurse, since that's one of the fields that we see growing, and as also we see growing, we see that it's a need out there. So if they wanted to get their nursing degree, and we as OOD, or should I say the counselors, review everything and say, hey, I think this would be a great fit. I believe that this is something you can do. Then we would request several different documents. And those documents would be the FAFSA, and then any information from the school as far as the tuition, costs, fees, anything like that, and then bring it to the counselor with their meeting. So then a contribution worksheet would be completed, and we would plug in some of those numbers that was provided, and then that would be able to tell us if we are able to provide any assistance for tuition, books, clothes, if it's school related, like if they need specific uniforms, things like that. Whatever it may be, that's what we will utilize to see if we can assist with that. And then the second part of your question was, does parents need to apply for minors? If that is for OOD, anybody can apply. However, when it comes to the meeting time, we would love if the parent could be present just to have that intake conversation. However, we do know that parents, you guys are busy. Um, and what we have done from time to time, we have met with the individual, that minor, and then we have sent everything we discussed with the minor to the parent via email. And they have the option to read everything, provide any questions, set up a meeting to talk to that caseload assistant, or they can just sign off on the forms, send it back to us, and then we can process everything and move forward.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And just one clarification on that youth summer program. Like I know, like the age range is 14 to 21, but is there a kind of a limited seat, like, which is kind of first come, first serve, or any 14 years would be eligible to join that program?
So the good thing about summer youth is that we have different sessions and different times. So like we have our first one starts I think June 8th and it ends July. I can't remember the date exactly. And then we have another one that starts in July. So hold on. Yeah, June 8th, July. And then I think the other one starts in July and ends in August. So if you were to apply, let's just say this week or next week, your individual may not be able to get into the first part, the first one, but they may be able to still get into the second one. But yes, it is first come, first served. Um, the spots do fill up quickly. And then sometimes it's those, positions that some people are like, yeah, I don't want to do stocking. I don't want to do anything and shredding papers and things like that. So those may still be available at the end, but the quicker you can get your child or individual signed up, the quicker you'll be able to see, what's available. And just so you do keep in mind is that we do have a length of time to process everything. Not saying it's going to take that long, but per the guidelines from the state and federal rules, we have 60 days to make a person eligible, and then we have 90 days to put them in plan. However, we encourage our counselors to get our individuals into eligibility within 30 days or less, and then also, if possible, to get them into plan, which was being able to discuss what services and everything we're going to offer that we think would benefit them within the 60 days if possible. But if you do apply and you're like, hey, he or she is very interested, doing that intake, make sure you explain that to them in hopes that they can try to get you in a little faster.
Okay, sure, sure.
Mhm.
And last question, maybe for that education, assistance, like in the post secondary, like for example, if my son is going to the college, like, will there be any assistance, like helping with their kind of academics there, like, eh, or it is more on the preparation or getting into the college?
So we could assist with helping them get in. So like fill out the applications,
Mhm.
um, could do tours, can look at different colleges, can even explore what careers that he would be interested in. When it comes to the academic piece on what we would be able to cover and pay for, we would have to receive the FAFSA first or the SAR, so that we can have that information first to see if we can even contribute to anything, along with whatever the costs and fees of the school would be.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, the next question is from me again. Um, you are sparking lots of questions from me apparently, but how do you collaborate or partner with the school districts?
Great question. So, we have counselors and supervisors that are liaisons to different schools um, in different districts. So we set up meetings. They allow us to come into the schools. We can attend parent-teacher conferences. We have specific contacts. So if they have an individual that's interested in services, they can send the information to our Medicaid fax box, our Northwest Medical fax box, and just say, hey, they're interested, and that can get the process started as well. But for the most part, supervisors and counselors, we do have specific liaisons to schools, and we attend meetings, IEP meetings, ETR meetings, 504 meetings. Um, if the school calls and they're like, hey, can you come? We try to get there.
Well, and by what do you do in the meetings? Is that do you help with the transition part of the IEP or with the 504 or just making sure that the individual has the accommodations they need? Like what's the role that you play in that?
So the role we play is just explaining our OOD services and what we do. and the purpose
Okay.
of us being at the meeting.
I
We
see.
also take into consideration some of the information that they're providing because the information in the IEP and ETR is going to be able to provide us with some eligibility determinations. So, like
Oh,
some of their, maybe, they need extra time to complete tasks. That's something we would love to have written down because when we get to the part of searching for employment, we want to find something that's not going to be a fast paced job or employment site. So we already can rule out like fast food industries. We know we're not going to help that person find jobs in that area. So that's what the purpose of the IEP will be more for, or when we attend, will be more for us to be able to give our input on what would be best for the individual if we've already started working with them and it's just like that IEP ETR ended, we're going to have a presence and then we can also let the school know what we've done with the individual already. Maybe they've completed pre-employment transition services or are starting, or maybe they came to us and they don't need that beginning piece, they're ready to jump straight into that non-permanent job development piece. So those are all just different conversations that we can have where they're at, maybe where they need to start, what we do if they haven't even applied for services, and even touch base on if they're interested in schooling or maybe driving, would it be a good fit? We can talk to our individuals, and kids are sometimes like, hey, I want to drive, I don't drive, but you as the parent, teachers know best, and they may not just be ready for it yet, right? So that's where you guys would be able to come in and say, hey, we understand that you're very interested, but let's hold off right now and maybe we can look at it next year. So it will still be on the plan. It just would be a goal that we push out and want to accomplish maybe in the next year instead of actual this year.
very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, Carrie's question, if you have been approved through your county DD, is this an additional support or is it one or the other?
So this is additional support. We work very closely with our county boards of DD. They are also included in meetings. We request them to attend the meetings, the SSAs. It's very important that when we work with any individual, we have a strong support team, to make sure that we are setting our individuals up for success.
Perfect. All right, Ania. Oh, we've got yours. I'll send over that contact information. Dana says, what ages do you support? Each group, F to F, and Ohioans with disabilities with support and guidance. And how long are the job coaches with them in the job? So you can feel free to talk about Shaniqua, yours, and then I can tell her a little bit about F to F and P to P.
Okay. So the ages that we support is they start at 14 on up. Even when they get to that adult stage, we don't have a cutoff for adults. We work with adults of all ages. When I first became a counselor, I think the oldest person I worked with was 85. He
Wow.
wanted to get back out there and get a job. He was very adamant about being a doctor again because that's what he used to do before he had his automobile accident and TBI occurred. So he was very, adamant about getting back out there, being a doctor. And it was painful to have to tell him, like, sorry, won't be able to get you, back out there. But what we can do is try to see if we can get you something close to it. So let's figure out what you can do within the medical field, um, which may be actually, working in a doctor's office, maybe being a receptionist, things of that nature, but it'll still be in the field that he enjoys. So again, as long as they start out at the age of 14, and it can be, like I said, no end to the age. When it comes to how long our job coaches with them in a job, it really depends on how long they're needed. So, and it depends on the individual. We have some individuals that may need a job coach for 3 days. You have some individual that may need it for 4 weeks, and we may have some individuals that need it for 4 months. So it really just depends on that individual, how receptive they are they able to complete tasks on their own? Um, a lot of things play a role in determining how long a job coach can be present. But what we will never do is say, hey, you have a set time for this job coach, and that's all you get. So if a job coach is available, we put the job coach in. They do what they need to do. They stay with the participant, and then they do what is called a fading plan. So instead of being with the individual every single day, maybe for that first month they're with them every single day, and maybe they do very well to where that second month they're only with them maybe 2 weeks out of it, and then that third month maybe they're only with them 1 week, and then that fourth month maybe they're only with them like 10 hours. So like I said, it just really depends on the need of the job coach for that individual. And then, do you help kids that are nonverbal at the age of 14 or 15 years old? Again, we help anyone as long as they are 14 on up. And yes, they can be nonverbal.
Okay, wonderful. Because and also just so you know, my son that is just getting connected to OOD as well. He is non-speaking, and we are excited about the opportunities that um he may have here. So looking forward to learning more about that too. Um, I can tell you about F2F and P2P. So with Ohio Parent to Parent, we there's no age limit. It starts even in pregnancy and goes throughout the lifespan of an individual. So um, keep in mind though, P2P and F2F are family support. So we typically support the family members of the individual with disabilities or special health care needs. That does not mean that we don't offer support for the individual themselves. If they were to call us and need support in any way, we would never, ever, ever say no, or we would not turn them away. We absolutely love supporting anyone and everyone. Technically, we support the family members in their journey with their loved one. And then with F to F, I will say technically, and probably I should say the technical age is 22 that we stop that we're supposed to stop our services at. I will say we get leeway on that, and we are very, very thankful that we are able to really support anyone throughout their journey. So we don't really ask for ages, and we would never again turn someone away if they were needing support. So we welcome any and all family members that are looking for somebody to listen and somebody to bounce ideas off and somebody to just talk things through with, and that we can certainly help out with that. Okay, so Dana also asked, are the programs only through summer youth programs? Are the programs only through summer youth programs, not during school day, if in high school level?
So with the summer youth work experience, that is through our summer only. So it starts June, it ends in August. With the pre-employment transition programs, that is throughout the whole entire year. So, and that is really based on the provider availability. So if you say, hey, I don't want them to do it during school hours, or I want them to do it after school, or in the weekend, we would try to find a provider to accommodate to that schedule.
Is there, Shaniqua, is there a time when an individual needs to register or sign up for the summer work experience?
There's no set time. However, what I like to recommend to everybody, and this is just my personal opinion here, is that if your child has a disability and you would love to see if OOD can be of some assistance, get them in at the age of 14. Even if they're finishing up middle school, because maybe they say the extra year of middle school, they haven't hit high school yet. Long as they're 14, let's get them in. Let's get it started. Sometimes at the age of 14, they won't even start any services. Maybe they're just not ready yet, and then we can gradually build upon that. But to your question, there is no set time. But when it comes to summer youth, they do build up the sites sometimes can get taken fast depending on what interest that the student may be or what site the student may be interested in.
Okay. Okay. Um, Aubrey asks, how many spots are available per session? Can you sign up more than one session?
So the sites or spots per session would really depend on that provider or that vendor that has built a partnership with that um, place of business. So they may have went to Goodwill, for example, and they may have 5 slots for the first session or the second session, and then at another spot that they have, maybe they went to Mark's or Giant Eagle and they have 5 spots available there. And then they could go to a janitorial spot, or employment business, and maybe they have like 3 spots available. So when you work with that counselor, they will be able to tell you if that site is still available or not. And sometimes those conversations that are being held can say, hey, just so you know, I know you said that you wanted to have a conversation with, the other family member or the child, but there is 2 more spots that's available or 1 spot that's available. So those conversations can take place. Again, it just really depends on that provider. And then for your second question, can you sign up for more than one session? Typically, we want the individual to do just one session that year, so then it can give everybody an opportunity to partake in those different summer youth programs. However, though, if the student does very well that first year, and um, the counselor believes that they are ready for non permanent employment, then we would suggest that the individual can just move on to start actually working a non permanent job. And sometimes that may just be like working after school or just on the weekends, maybe just on Saturdays or Sundays or both days. And that would really come from what you, as the guardian, would like for that student or for your child, because sometimes you may be that person that's going to be provided that transportation back and forth. um, Now let's say that they did summer youth this year and they just didn't do too like a great job at it. They do have the options to do another summer youth, and what we would look at is for them to do it the following year, just so that we can work on growth from now into the next summer, work on a couple different skills. So that may be implementing some of those pre-employment transition skills that I talked about in the presentation earlier.
Wonderful. Okay. Um, Ania or Anaya, I'm sorry. I really wish I knew how to pronounce all the names. I apologize if I'm
No, no problem
pronouncing
at all. No problem at all. It's Anya, but you were very close. Very good.
Anya.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, good. I'm so glad you told me, Anya. I now I feel better because I can
No,
pronounce
I'm
it
paying
correctly.
attention here.
Regarding driving, do you
Mhm.
collaborate with driving schools that are ready to provide instructions for students with various disabilities?
Yes, we do. So we are a partner with different driving schools across all of Ohio. For example, where I'm located at, and I'm in Norwalk, but a lot of my team is in Lorain County. So we have 2 driving schools specifically that we partner with up that way. So yes, whatever county you are in, OOD should have a form of partnership to work on to help the individual move forward with driving classes or training. And if they don't, there would be a great opportunity for us to build that partnership and relationship. So, for example, in Lorain County, we didn't have a partnership again with our county transit bus station services. So I was able to explain to them like what we do, how their services can benefit our people that we work with, and provided them the information that was needed. They signed up, said yes, we'll take the authorizations, send them our way.
Oh, fantastic. And then they are kind of allow more time, perhaps. They have different approach, and it's just like a different, it's not your regular
Yes, it's
instruction.
not your regular instruction.
Okay,
Correct.
okay.
Hmm.
And they also would be able to judge if that particular individual is ready to
Hmm.
be let on the road eventually, or perhaps not, but would give the judgment. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much for that
You're
information.
welcome.
Wonderful. How do we sign up for P2P and F2F again? Well, I don't even know if I told you how to do that, Aubrey. So, that's a great question. Let me put in the chat. I'll put in the link on how you can. We have an intake form. There's a couple of different options. If you're looking for support through those two programs, then you're welcome to just complete the form that I put on here. Or there's also the option of you being a mentor. If you're interested in being a mentor and wanting to get trained, we have a mentor or what we call support parent application form. And I can put that in the chat too. And you're welcome to register and sign up if you're interested in being that in that mentor role. So either one works, and you can be in both. We have many people that are utilizing both aspects. They're mentors, but they also get services not services. They get support from their peers and from us throughout their time as well. So the thing with F to F is no matter where you live in Ohio, there is a F to F family support specialist. So in the north, we have my colleague Amy Clausen. She serves all of North Ohio. And then in Columbus, I have a colleague named Meredith Evans. She serves Central Ohio. And then I serve Southern Ohio. So there's three of us throughout the whole state, and we really divvy up and support all the families and whichever is in our area, just because we tend to know the resources around our area a little bit better. But yeah, we all support each other too. My colleagues and I are very close, even though we live across the state. So let me put those in, Aubrey. That's a great question. So Dana do you know what support you could get after the age of 22 years old? Sorry, I'm looking ahead. Oh, never apologize, Dana. We are always looking ahead. So totally get that 100%. So Shaniqua?
Yes, please do not apologize. So if the individual was to apply for services or your child was to apply for services right now, we would just transition his transition plan into an adult plan when they turn 21. So let's say that they are not, let's say that they start and they're 21, then they would just start out with an adult plan. So some of those services would be helping them search for employment. It would be mock interviews, our job search assistance program, which would be resumes, mock interviews, helping them search for employment, helping them fill out the applications, and job coaching if it's needed. We have a ton of services for adults, and yes. So my recommendation would be just get them in and we would be able to see what we can assist with. If clothing was needed, maybe they don't have clothes for interviews or even the employment site once they get hired, that's something that we can help with. If they decide that they want to do automotive technicians, and they need tools, that's something we can assist with as well. So, like I said, OOD, we offer a lot of different aspects of services to individuals starting at the age of 14 and again, adult ages as well. So, we do not have an age limit. And then we also do provide services to our visually impaired, blind, elderly. Sorry, I'm trying to get the acronyms. It's ILOB, so Independent Living for the Blind, older blind, that's what it is. So those may be individuals that cannot work right now, but they may need some assistance in the home. So we provide those services. We can see what we can do to help them be able to get back to having a life when it comes to like their daily living functions. Maybe it could be just implementing a bar to help them be able to get into their house, or technology on their phones. Maybe they are blind and they need just something that would be able to tell them what's going on. So it's different assistive technologies that we can utilize. Again, we offer a lot of different services, and till this day, regardless of how long I've been with the agency, I feel like I'm still learning about new services. We have a PCA service, which I learned that about, I want to say, almost a year now. I was like, wait a minute, what? We do this too? So again, we offer a ton of services. I know one that's been most common is that if, when we get older, sometimes our insurances does not cover like hearing aids and hearing services, and sometimes we may have to pay out of pocket, or they don't cover if your hearing loss gets worse within the same year. Guess what? We at OOD, if you have employment or you're working towards employment, that's something we would be able to take a look at to see if we can assist you in any way with it. So just some things that people don't know about that we can assist them with.
Okay. Very good. All right. So, Aubrey says if there is a business or organization that wants to hire individuals with special needs and disabilities through OOD, what is the process?
So if they want to hire one of our individuals, it would still go through, you would still have your individual apply. They would apply for that job, and then that business would hire them. And then we would be able to go in and see what services are needed. And what I do want to mention is that the individual does not have to wait for us to get that job. So they may already have that job, and maybe we need to just go in there and do a job save because maybe they're at risk of losing a job. Maybe they are learning new skills, and those skills can be overwhelming. So they may need a job coach to help teach them and learn the new process. Or maybe if it's even something that's just like, hey, they need help with testing because maybe they can't read. We can throw a job coach in there and say, hey, this is what they need help with. Again, it doesn't have to be from that we need to help you find a job first, then we can provide these services. It just needs to be that some type of employment is involved, whether it's us helping you get in that job, you trying to maintain that job, you've already have a job, you come to us, you just need additional support so you can keep it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I wanted to more so know, like, what if there's a business like, hey, I want to, hire individuals with disabilities. How do they go about doing that? Like, if they want to, I don't know, become more inclusive or whatnot, how does an organization go about doing that? Would they contact you or no?
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know if I,
sorry. No,
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
the
Um,
information you provided was helpful too. So thank you.
so you would contact, you can contact me and I can pass your information along. And that's how we will begin when we start working with our partnerships. And so basically, you would, depending on the type of services you want to provide, would be able to dictate which route you go. So you can go through the vendor piece, or I'm sorry, the provider piece, which means you'll want to provide like job searching skills and all that things of that nature, interviews, job coaching, or if you want to say, hey, we just want to be able to have a partnership and be able to give you the information and say, hey, these are the jobs we have available. We want to hire people with special needs or disabilities. We want to just give that information to you. Then I can connect you with our talent sourcing coordinators, so our EIS unit, and you will be able to have more of an in-depth conversation on how they go about collaborating to get those partnerships started when it comes to being able to um, send people your way that is interested in specific jobs that you have listed. Did that answer your question for that one? Okay, perfect.
What a great question. I love that. Hearing that, some folks might be interested in hiring our loved ones. That's awesome. we did a big call out around here too, and it's just wonderful to see our local businesses step up in a big way. So, okay, so OOD, Dana asked, so OOD only supports jobs and not other adult services like adult day programs and activities for the individual and how to manage life skills.
So correct. Yes, we do not provide those adult services, but we do have resources. So if you were to apply, and let's say the individual's like, hey, I really want to get a job, and they apply, and then later on they're like, you know what, this isn't for me, it's just too much, it's overwhelming. We can connect you to other resources that we may have to get you linked up to start those adult day programs to get you started with those, and then close your case once that is done. And if you're just like, hey, I don't want to even go through the process of opening a case, I just need the resource, give us a call. We can just give you the resource too to get things started and get you on the way.
Okay, she says thank you. All right. Did anyone else have any questions? It looks like we got through all of the chat. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand or unmute. We have a couple more minutes.
Yes, I have a question. Did you say that there can be assistance with transportation to and from, say, like the summer youth program or other services?
Yeah, so with the summer youth programs, transportation may can be possibly um, a service provided. Again, it would depend on that provider. When it comes to other services, far as like searching for employment, that will be based on the provider as well. Not all of our providers provide those transportation services to pick up the individual. However, though, they would be able to meet them at specific locations. So let's say you lived like 5 minutes from a library or 10 minutes from a restaurant, McDonald's, anything like that. They can always go there and meet with them to try to, at least get the beginning piece and apply for jobs and things like that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I wasn't aware of that either. So I knew I was going to learn a bunch of stuff tonight. Any other quick question? As you're thinking, and if you think of one, that's okay. But I just wanted to point out the evaluation in the chat. If you can please just click on that and complete the evaluation, we would greatly appreciate it. We do need to have those completed for our grants, but also we like to learn from you and make sure that everything is these are set up the way that you like it, and make sure that we have future sessions on topics that you're interested in. So that feedback is very helpful for us. So, okay. Thank you, Anya. I so appreciate your help today. Thank you very much for joining us today, Shaniqua. We appreciate it. And what a great session. Thank you all for being so engaged and asking so many great questions. I learned so much from questions at the end. It's always the best time, I feel like, because I learn really those personal type questions. So thank you all very much for being here. And we hope to see you next month. The next month is, yes, I will add you for the slides and the survey. I'll send that out to you. That's no problem. The next month's is May. I should have had that up and now I can't remember. But let me pull it up real quick because I feel like it's gonna be a great one. All of these booster sessions are all based on transition and moving into adulthood, and we are excited to be able to provide more of these this year. And so we're looking forward to the next one. Oh, yes, it's May 21st. It is college options after high school. So that's what we'll be discussing next month after. And in June, we'll be talking about Medicaid for youth with disabilities. So if you do not currently receive our information about our transition booster sessions, such as this, or any of our transition information, let me know in the chat. I will add you to be able to get those emails. Every once in a while, we'll send something out with some great information that we may learn along the way as well. So just let me know if you would like that. But otherwise, have a great night. Thanks for joining us.